Alright, so today I'm going to be doing my speech on transformational leadership styles. So imagine having a boss who came in every day and they led by example. They inspired others to be passionate and motivated. When they came to work, they were there to perform. This boss's goal is to grow and to help the company change, and they're always open to new ideas and opinions. Their charismatic nature makes people naturally drawn to them, and they automatically attract all the attention in a room that they go to. They're great at understanding the social dynamics within society and within their team. This boss may sound like a fantasy, but this is actually the basis of a very common leadership style. This type of boss is widely known as a transformational leader. I have first learned of transformational leadership when I was in business school. I learned it from all of my general basic classes, and later when I became an office manager, I learned when I was sent to an HR conference for work. During that period of learning, one thing that really stuck out to me as important was that with all these transformational leaders, generally their employees were very happy, very productive, and they just seem to really enjoy coming to work every day. So during my speech today, I'll be discussing the origination of transformational leadership. I'll be discussing transformational leadership and the style of what it is, and then employee satisfaction and productivity. So a brief description and a brief origin story for transformational leadership is it was fairly new. The term was first coined by a gentleman named James McGregor Burns in 1978. He was a political historian, and he described the process in which leaders and followers help each other to advance to a higher level of morale and motivation as transformational leadership. His idea was then picked up and it was brought into schools, but very quickly he found that the idea did not stick. They were stuck more on a transactional leadership style, something that kind of helped the cogs run and didn't keep things slowing down. They didn't focus on any new big changes. So back at the drawing board, a gentleman named Bernard M. Bass, he expanded on Burns' ideas and stated that transformational leadership can be defined based on impact that it has on its followers. Burns believed that transformational leaders should garner trust and admiration from their followers. So with that idea, slowly over time, transformational leadership became more popular, especially with large CEOs and large corporations. So the key points of transformational leadership, there are four main ideas. The first one is creating a vision. So transformational leaders look at what needs to be changed, and they kind of help motivate others to see what needs to be changed and make those changes as well. Secondly, the growth mindset. Transformational leaders understand that growth is very important, so they cultivate that growth on an individual level. These leaders will recognize each person and their role in the company, and then later on help invest in them and their role in the company and any of the skills that they are trying to cultivate. Listening, transformational leaders are all ears. They hear the good, the bad, the ugly, with no reservations. These leaders use this information to make improvements upon their organization and to weed out any of the existing issues. Fourth, creativity is essential. Transformational leaders always encourage the flow of new ideas. These leaders appreciate input and rely heavily on their subordinates to make the necessary changes within their organization. One of the main key things, though, that's beside the theory is that transformational leaders are very charismatic. Oftentimes they have what's called as a social authority over individuals, and their behavior just kind of commands attention. They don't have to ask for it, and they don't have to do too much to really walk in a room and be the most known presence. So how does a leadership style like that affect its workers? So transformational leadership is highly effective with employees because its power stems from development and motivation. This means that employees are able to relate to the vision, and they are still able to feel empowered and engaged while working towards that goal. Not only that, but employees are more motivated because their bosses are leading them through example. They're not just telling them what to do. They can come in and see the work getting done. This can be showcased by a survey that was done at 6 German technology companies, and those employees who did have transformational leaders reported being more likely to experience better well-being, and production actually did increase. So, a review of our main points. Transformational leadership was born from James McGregor, but it is a leadership style that encourages free thought and creativity, and it is a leadership style where workers are generally happier and more productive underneath this style. So my closing statement to you would be, now that you have learned a little bit more about transformational leaders, who would you like to be your next boss?